I'm here so I won't get fined.
You think you know sports? Well, you don't know. Well, you don't know Jack. The You Don't Know Jack Show starts now.
Hello and welcome to the You Don't Know Jack Show with Jonah, Aaron, and Carson. And today on the You Don't Know Jack Show, we're going to start out, of course, by talking about our top two teams. And that's the Vikings and the Cowboys. Both teams winning big. Vikings winning 31-13. Home against Houston, and Cowboys winning 28-14, home versus Cincinnati. So, Jonah, what are your first thoughts on the game? First, we'll go with the Vikings game.
Well, I had no doubt that they would win against the Texans, but yeah, the Vikings are just almost unstoppable at this point.
Really, it was only 31-6. The Texans basically got a garbage time touchdown. Aaron, you have any really thoughts on that game?
Not really.
So the Vikings just getting the win, staying atop the NFC North and the best team in the NFL, record-wise, the only unbeaten team remaining. So the Cowboys winning 28-14 over Cincinnati. Aaron, what are your thoughts on that game?
Don't really have any. It was a good game by the Cowboys. That's all. That's it.
I'm just surprised they kept AJ Green in check.
Yep, just a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought their ability to shut down the Bengals' offense was probably the most impressive part. And to be able to run against that Cincinnati defensive front was pretty impressive, too. And obviously, I picked the Bengals to win, so I wasn't expecting it to be... and again, Bengals kind of scoring garbage time touchdowns, like the last 5 to 10 minutes of the game, scoring their 14 points.
Both went to Brandon LaFell.
Yeah.
Who nobody has on their fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Freaking no AJ.
yeah, Cowboys
ridiculous.
secondary is kind of turning in to be more of a strength now after putting down Andy Dalton basically for at least 3 quarters, maybe even 3.5 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
I give a lot of credit to Claiborne, but it's about time he plays up to his potential. They drafted him in the top 10 however many years ago, like 3 years ago.
I feel like he's playing to that potential because
he hasn't really done anything
the Cowboys
up
are
until
winning.
now.
You know, like he has a reason to play to his potential. Because if he doesn't, then they lose.
Yeah. Yeah, do you credit it more to Morris Claiborne, or do you give Rod Marinelli most of the credit?
Well, he's a great coach, but Claiborne's worked really hard in the off season to get healthy and work on his techniques and stuff. So 50-50, I'd say.
All right. So again, both teams winning big. Are these the best teams in the NFC right now, Vikings and Cowboys? What do you think, Jonah?
Well, I'd say definitely the Vikings. And I'd probably say the Cowboys are up there, but I wouldn't consider them. I'd consider them like at least top 5, but they have a ways to go still.
What do you think?
I'd put them in there. I'd say that's true.
Top 5, top 3?
I don't see who you'd put ahead of the Cowboys.
Could maybe make the case for the Seahawks or maybe the Falcons.
Well, the Falcons, yeah.
The Falcons are a team to beat.
I'd
now.
say the Cowboys and Falcons are tied right now.
That's why this
But
next
the Seahawks. I don't know.
next week game I'm gonna be excited for is Falcons and Seahawks. That's gonna be a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll decide
Who's really good?
who should be up there with those two other teams.
And of course, you gotta still kind of keep an eye on the Packers, even though they haven't looked as good this season.
Depends on
Yeah.
if they
Surprisingly,
how
they
they play against the Cowboys.
surprisingly they keep winning games.
Yep. So will both teams win their division is the next question, and I think I would say definitely on both sides. I think the Eagles are gonna continue to have their struggles at times, and I think the Cowboys
Did they win last week?
do it.
Oh,
Did the Eagles win last week?
why does he even do this show? He doesn't
No.
even follow anything.
Oh, they didn't.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
Do you guys see any way that either one of these teams lose their division?
Because for the Cowboys, the Eagles were always the team that would compete, and they're not. They're not going to make it as far. I don't think.
Well, if the Eagles can't beat the Lions,
Then that's pretty sad.
Yeah.
And then for the
I thought the Eagles pretty much handed the Bears that game too. I got a lot of shit for saying that, but they had 3 turnovers in a row, and the game was close. It's like, well,
and then
now
for
it's
the
over.
Vikings, you can
Yeah.
say the Packers.
I don't know about the Vikings. I think they're a great team, but the Packers are still there, and you always gotta kind of.
You kind of have to watch out for them.
I don't believe the Eagles will keep up what they're doing.
Yeah.
The Giants are plummeting.
Mhm.
The
Redskins haven't
Redskins are on and off. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes
Redskins
they're not.
haven't been a contender for years.
The Cowboys look like the only
Well, last year.
consistent team
A little bit.
out of that division.
It's usually been the Eagles or the
And the
Cowboys.
Eagles play the Redskins this week, so their
If they
first
lose
division
that game,
Yeah, that should be an interesting game.
the Redskins game.
I'm pulling for the Redskins.
I think if you look at it from the Vikings side, I was surprised that how well the receiving core played without Stephon Diggs. Adam Thielen played very impressively.
I think
Patterson made some great plays.
I think the Vikings win that division as it stands right now because the Packers don't look very good.
Yeah.
but
I was watching that Sunday night game against the Giants, and I was just like, what is going on?
you can't really count the Packers out though, completely.
Rodgers couldn't complete a pass. They kept punting. It was like,
I think if the
Ugh.
Cowboys beat the Packers this week,
which a lot of people are like, no way they're going to do it. The Packers aren't that great. What?
no. And we'll get into our predictions later.
If
but
it was the Cowboys Patriots, I'd be like, okay, they probably don't have a chance.
You
yeah.
probably won't win that one.
But the Packers just have not looked like themselves. Even with Jordy Nelson, he's got some touchdowns, but he's also dropped some balls. Aaron Rodgers hasn't looked as
They
sharp.
still won.
They still
which
won.
Is surprising. That shows how bad the Giants are.
But the Giants
It's
have lost 3 games in a row now.
that shows how bad they are if they can't win with the Packers playing that bad.
Yeah. So if the Packers play as bad as they did against the Giants, I don't think there's any chance that they beat the Cowboys. I don't.
Well, a lot of
I'm
people
pulling
are
for the
like,
Cowboys.
Well, I would
the
hope you are.
Packers have the best rush defense, and they've played Jacksonville, who's in the bottom part of the league in rushing. Minnesota's last, or close to last.
Yeah, they are last in rushing.
They've played the
yards per
Giants,
game.
who can never run the ball, in the history of their whole team.
But then they're
Besides when
going
they
to
had,
face.
Rondane and Tiki Barber, that's about it.
They're going to
But
face the Cowboys, who.
that was what they said about, they're like, Cincinnati's going to stop them. It's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
The Packers D-line's so good, and then they'll get shredded, and they'll be like...
But if you look at it as a whole, usually running game the running game as a whole is not necessarily that big of a deal because, I mean, the Cowboys obviously have the best rusher in the league, but if you look at it, other top 5 teams in rushing in yards per game are the, I think it's the Titans and the Rams.
Depends on your style. I mean,
Right. But
the Cowboys have a certain system in play. Like, the Titans just run it just to run it. They don't have like a,
Yeah, they don't have like a
Cowboys have a more balanced
run
system.
the Cowboys have
pass.
a more planned out, solid system.
Yeah. Yep. So, last question for these two games. Which quarterback, Sam Bradford or Dak Prescott, has been more impressive this season?
Who
Aaron?
was the first one?
Sam or
Sam or Dak?
I'd have to go with Dak because nobody expected him to play
yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
And look what he's doing, 4 straight wins.
Well, I'd say Dak has
Bradford's
a lot
been
more,
impressive. I'm not taking away from him,
Yeah.
but he's been in the league. We know he's good. He just hasn't stayed healthy and been in the right situation with the right coaching.
Yeah.
For me, I'd say
So Dak, Dak. I would take
I'd
Dak.
say I'd probably put Bradford a little bit above because he doesn't have as many weapons as Dak does.
Well, that
and he
is
makes
true,
it
too.
work.
I didn't even think of that. Well, they got Diggs and Rudolph.
Well,
And
I mean-
Dak hasn't had Dez the last 2 weeks.
I know, but he's still. I mean, he's connecting more with like Beasley and
I
Witten
guess it's still
and Butler and
Terrence Williams, who's since week 1 has played well.
yeah, and he's thrown more to Butler and
Bryce
Beasley.
Butler, I think, will get more playing time even when Dez comes back because I like what I see from him. But
Yeah,
I think you can look at it 2 different ways. I think you can look at it as, well, Dak Prescott's a rookie. He shouldn't be playing as well as he is. Or you can look at it as Sam Bradford just came in 10 days before his first start or whatever it is, and he had to learn the offense, and he's 4-0 as a starting quarterback in the offense. So that, to me,
a lot
is
of that's the defense. So.
pretty impressive. But he hasn't made any mistakes. He hasn't
No
turned the
picks.
ball over at all.
no fumbles.
He's made
Yeah,
big-time
Dak had
throws
that.
at the right
I
time.
saw that
Dak
comparison of him and Aaron Rodgers.
Dak had that one fumble last week, and that was
Yeah.
just a bad snap. But
To me, coming in as a rookie, that part is definitely impressive.
you got to
and
think
being
about
as well
the
as he is.
defenses too, though.
Yeah,
I'll take into consideration Jonah's point. Dak probably has the better weapons, but Bradford has the better defense
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
and the better head coach, I would say too.
Really though, the Vikings have always been that team that would rely on their defense more than like
The
their
Cowboys'
offense.
defense
Last couple of years, yeah.
Yeah,
has played well, but it's nowhere near
the Vikings defense.
Right.
Yeah,
But I think Bradford, he's completed 70% of his passes, which to me is phenomenal.
That's like
Even
I think it's close, but I'll give the edge to Dak just because nobody was like who is this guy? What's he doing here?
I think I will give the edge to Dak just because I think it's impressive for him to come in as a rookie, have that pressure of being the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback,
and just
and being a
immediately-
4th-round pick. It's not like he was a first-round pick. Sam Bradford was a first-round pick, first overall,
Yeah, we
and
know
he's supposed to be that good. You know,
we know
Yeah.
the talent's there with Bradford. It's just been
He just didn't have like the team, that-
well at St. Louis. You think he doesn't have weapons now? At St. Louis, he didn't.
no, he had nothing.
yeah, pretty
St.
much.
Louis.
Tavon Austin, maybe. That's
Yeah,
about it.
and I don't even know if he did have. He may have had Tavon for 1 year before he got traded. I don't know.
But I think Bradford with the Vikings is like a winning, combination.
Yeah. Both teams get the win.
Well, I guess that
Vikings,
trade's not done anymore.
yeah, Vikings 5-0 and Cowboys 4-1.
Should be 5-0 too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Stupid Giants.
they're still trying to, figure stuff out.
So in that first game, they were kind of still trying to
Yeah.
find their identity. Yeah.
Get out of here.
So 1 for 1. We kind of did our predictions for some games last week. We'll do One question for each of these finals. Packers beat the Giants in a struggling offensive game, 23-16. Aaron Rodgers threw 2 interceptions. Eli Manning.
One was Jordy Nelson's fault.
Yep, definitely. Eli Manning did not look very good.
He never does.
I thought he'd look better against Green Bay. I thought he'd get some big yardage, but no. So did the Packers win because of them, or did they win because of the Giants?
I think it's both. I think the Giants are just plummeting. Like, it's bad.
I thought you were going to ask.
I didn't think the Giants would tumble that far so quickly.
Yeah.
I thought they would, like, at least be good till the
Yeah, like
middle of the
actually
year, but
actually make it a game. I thought you were going to ask, did the Giants lose or did the Packers win?
That's basically what I'm
that's
asking.
what he just asked. I think it's 50.
I'd probably say more of the Giants losing just because the Giants
lose
all the time.
The Giants had a chance there at the end. But,
Yeah.
To me, I'd say the Giants lost because they had 2 picks. One was on their side of the 50-yard line, and the other one was...
I'd say the Giants
prevented.
lost too because he should have been able to throw all day on that secondary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just don't capitalize.
Clinton Dix is
It's
probably
funny.
the best player.
That's
and
all
then it
you
goes
hear
down.
about the
Picks.
Giants is these 3 receivers, and then they
Clinton
go
Dix.
stink it up like that against a burnable secondary. It's like,
Yeah.
They should have been able to capitalize
Okay.
on those picks. And if they did,
and
they
those
would've won.
receivers didn't even do that much against
You
the
know?
Cowboys defense. Honestly,
So, yeah, we kind of agree all on that. John and I kind of talked about this, though. We kind of thought that the Giants would take a step back a little bit. Like, they were off to a 2-0 start. We didn't think their defense was as good as people were making it out to be.
They always get
And I don't
off to
think
a-
you were really buying into it all totally. Anyway, obviously they're better than they were, but they're not.
They still
they're
have a lot of
not-
missing pieces.
They're not
I don't even
top
think they're
15
better
yet.
than they were. I think they're like the same team. I think.
Well, their defense, I would say, is better than what it was last year.
They just need
they need a run game like they don't.
yeah,
have.
they need something.
They need balance
else,
on offense.
They don't have any balance.
And Eli is Eli, so
Their secondary still isn't great by any means.
No, well, and they've had injuries back there too. Jenkins is okay. Eli Apple's been hurt. I don't even know who their safeties are.
Yeah, I think the Eagles have the best chance to contend with the Cowboys. I don't think.
Yeah.
and
I think
don't
the
think,
Redskins have a better chance than the Giants do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is how it's been, for years and years, pretty much.
So Atlanta beating Denver in defensive domination, basically by the Falcons' defense, 23-16, the final score. Broncos
lose any
didn't score
points. It's
a
crazy.
touchdown till late in the fourth quarter. So it's basically 23-9, at least 3.5 quarters through. So, how big of a step back was this for the Broncos? Do you think?
Not very. I mean, they had Paxton Lynch in there. He hadn't played, and they still didn't get totally blown out or anything. I think it's a step back for their defense because they let Tevin and Freeman just go off on them. They held the receivers in check, but they got to do a better job against running backs because that was
Brutal.
pretty bad. But that's a 2-headed monster they got there. They should just keep those 2 on the field at all times together.
Yeah.
Then it's like, who are they throwing to? We don't know.
Yeah, with
But-
Julio in there too. Yeah, I think it's a small step back. I don't think it's huge because I think the Broncos still
I
could
think-
win that division, but I still am
if
thinking the Raiders.
One of the reasons I picked the Falcons because Paxton was playing.
Yeah.
If Simeon was playing, I may have picked the Broncos, and they may have won.
With Simeon. But
Not that he's great, but he, had played a few games, and he knew
he knew how to play.
what he was doing.
what's
Paxton
going
didn't
on.
know what he was doing. He
Do you,
just got in there.
do you see the Raiders or Broncos, whichever team doesn't win the division, making it as a wild card?
I think I predicted the Raiders would get the wild card. I think. No, I picked the Raiders to win the division. I think the Broncos could get a wild card, but with the way the Raiders look now, I think they take the division. If they
Raiders
keep
did
playing.
kind of almost blow it against San Diego, though.
Well, San
got
Diego,
close.
yeah. I don't even know what to say about them.
They're like,
Yeah.
they're so like out of the ordinary, you know.
Plays
Yeah.
so well for 3 quarters. And
Yeah.
then
They just can't be trusted in the fourth quarter. I mean, Phillip Rivers is a quarterback who's been in the league how long? He's been really good at times.
it wasn't his fault, though, because I watched the end of that game, and the holder bobbled the snap for the kicker, and
Yeah.
it was a bad snap, bad hold, and they didn't even get the kickoff.
But
so.
a lot of the games they don't keep a lead in. I don't think Phillip Rivers tries to close the game out. He doesn't like do enough to pass the ball to
You think
make
he's,
one
like,
big
getting
throw.
paid off to lose it?
Or he's
It
just
seems
like,
it
Maybe it's the
seems
play
like,
calling too.
It seems like they're getting paid off to lose these games. That's how like humiliating and embarrassing
Like-
their losses
Well,
are.
and if
Is
you
it-
think about it, their organization is kind of in a downfall right now with the whole stadium problem. What are they going to do? Joey Bosa had a problem with contract
You know
before.
what fixes all that though? Winning.
Yeah.
yeah.
And they can't do it.
They just
and they
can't
don't have a
do it.
coach who
Is it-
has a winning background.
How is he still their coach?
I don't
How is
know.
he their coach to begin
Is
with?
it like-
No, I don't know.
But is it
They need to go get Marty Schautenheimer back.
They need to get somebody.
Take LT out of retirement.
Maybe they'll get Nick Saban.
Yeah, right.
No, Nick Saban would have to go to like a top 10 NFL.
Maybe the Chargers will
franchise.
get Les Miles.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I don't
If he
even
would
think
go
they
to the
want to
NFL.
win.
I mean, if you
Like, the
think
way
about
they
it
play.
though, Les Miles
Les Miles, I think,
had a great
coached
record.
on the Cowboys coaching staff. I think.
Okay.
I'm pretty
That
sure
could
I
be.
heard that like 2 weeks ago. I don't remember. I think I remember seeing him like when I used to watch the games when I was younger. I didn't know who he was at that time because I was little, but yeah, I think he has been in the NFL before, and I don't know if any college team would want him, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's probably true.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So the Lions beat the Eagles in a shocker, 24-23. Did the Eagles play bad, or are they overrated, Jonah?
I think that they're very overrated.
They're overrated every year.
Yeah, like
Every year, their fans and shit do this.
yeah.
Oh my god!
I
we're so good.
I think
Super Bowl.
losing that game is probably a bigger step back.
I don't think they're.
than the Broncos.
I don't think they're
losing to the
hugely
Falcons.
overrated. I think it was a bad game, but I do think they are overrated a little bit, at least.
Yeah.
Especially by their fans. They have the worst fans.
Yeah,
ever.
I think they'll have
I
a
hate
bigger
their
step
fans.
back than the Broncos will.
Okay, we got it. I hate their fans.
I don't care what you're saying. I'm trying to make a point.
Yeah,
like a dumb point.
I thought the Eagles were a little overrated the whole time. I just don't see them going far with Carson Wentz, or
I think
the
he's-
lack of talent around him. I don't think they have a lot of talent
I
around
was
him.
surprised they even started off that well, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, they didn't play very good competition. I mean, you got
He
the
has-
Bears and you got the Browns.
Yeah.
He has Jordan Matthews. That's like his own.
Well, I mean,
Jordan Matthews and Zach Ertz, basically.
That,
those are the only two guys.
that Steelers
you cover
game-
them, he's done.
that Steelers game, they probably thought like we're really good, and then
Well, and like I said, I think it was all
lose that game.
all in the Steelers' head that they were going to win that game.
A lot of it
Uh-huh.
is some teams just don't match up against other teams or play well against other teams.
yeah, like
Detroit seems to always give the Eagles a fight
yeah,
in recent years, anyway.
and the Detroit does the opposite with like every other team,
Detroit always puts up a fight against the Cowboys and the Eagles, it seems.
and then they lose
Yeah,
usually. But
yeah.
this time was different, obviously.
So the Bucks dropped the defending NFC champions to 1-4, beating them
Jesus.
17-14.
Who even cares about the Panthers anymore?
Yeah,
Are
the
the Panthers
Panthers-
done?
That's so last year.
Yeah, I think the Panthers are extremely dumb.
They don't have enough weapons on offense, and I think that really got exposed in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think the writing was on the wall in after the Super Bowl that this is how you beat the Panthers. You do this, you do that, you do that.
And then boom.
You pretty much just
And I think
be physical with Cam Newton.
Exactly.
I think their defense was kind of overrated too, a little bit.
Oh, I think so too. Their linebackers were fantastic.
They got really lucky last
Their
year.
defensive line was above average. Their
I've been
secondary
hearing a
is
lot
pathetic right now.
That
It's terrible.
I've been hearing a lot that the Falcons are the Panthers of this year.
Yeah.
Could be.
That's what I was saying last week.
I don't think they're going 15-1 though.
Yeah, I think what will happen though for the
I think
Falcons.
they're going to lose this weekend too. By the way,
I think the Falcons have been like
Never know.
they've had that like pent up aggression
Probably didn't
of
think the
losing
Panthers
so many
would go
times.
15-1 before they
And
went
then
15-1 last
this year they're gonna go that far, and next year they're gonna suck like the Panthers.
so yeah, I think the Panthers are done. We kind of all predicted at the beginning of the season they'd take a step back. You guys went as far as to say they wouldn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think
And
that's it.
I said that they would still barely win the division, but now I don't even
no
think
way.
that's happening.
There's no way.
So Panthers are done. Cam Newton will be back. They'll probably beat the Saints, but it's not gonna be smelling roses for
don't even
the
think
if they don't,
Panthers.
if they can't beat the Saints,
I don't think they'll.
that's
beat the
pathetic.
Saints.
I think they will just because the Saints are just that bad on defense.
I don't know. I like their offense against that defense too. I think that'll be.
I think Breeze will
that'll
go
be
off.
a shootout. I think.
Yeah,
Probably.
Breeze will probably go off.
Cam, Cam will be back for that game. I'm thinking. So that if Derek Anderson starts, then that's a whole different story. Then Saints
Then
have
they'll
that in the
definitely win.
bag.
When the Saints go.
I still think they'll
marching.
win with Cam Newton in though, or I mean the opposite. I think the Saints will win.
With Cam in or not? Yeah. Okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with Ludicrous or Legit.
Do you like shopping on Amazon? Well, now you can do it by helping the show at the same time. Go to the website youdon'tknowjackshow.com and click on any of the Amazon links, and then you can bookmark it. And every time you shop on Amazon, click the bookmark. It's the easiest way to support us without any extra cost to you. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the You Don't Know Jack Show
Falcons
with
might
Jonah,
win, too.
Aaron, and Carson.
I'm picking them.
You're not supposed to give your picks away, even though
I
I did. Ludicrous or Legit. Arizona saved their season with the win over the 49ers last Thursday night. Aaron.
That's. I don't think so. I don't see them making the playoffs. Not with the way they're playing.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll see how they do this week.
I think
but
they got a little stirred the first week
It's funny
when
because
they lost.
they played the Jets this week, and those two teams were so good last year, and now
Yeah,
they're
now they're gonna
don't
suck.
even know what their identities are this year, and it's.
Yeah,
If they beat the Jets this weekend, do they save their season?
I still don't see it.
No.
They have to go
Honestly-
they have to go on a winning streak to prove.
honestly,
to me that they
that's
can.
that's probably gonna be the toilet bowl this week. Is Jets Cardinals?
Hey, according to Brandon Marshall, the Jets are good. The Jets are the Super Bowl.
Hey, according to
favorite
Brandon
here.
Marshall, Jay Cutler's the MVP every year.
Wow. Jay Cutler.
I would say the
His
Cardinals
backup's playing decently.
momentarily save their season. Will it last? That's a whole different question.
Well,
I don't think
if they were
saved
to
it.
have beaten like a good team, then I'd be like, oh, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's the Niners.
Like if they beat
But
like
they did beat
Seattle
the Niners
or
with
something.
their backup quarterback, though.
Drew Stanton, yeah.
Yeah, but anybody can beat the Niners with like their third string.
I think the Niners are going to win this weekend, though.
Oh yeah, totally. Against who?
Kaepernick.
It's Kaepernick. He's back.
Against the Bills? Mm-hmm. Oh.
So next,
Yeah.
Ludicrous or Legit. Jonah.
Those aren't that good either.
Jonah, the Giants will trade or cut Eli Manning at the end of the season. Ludicrous or
Yeah,
Legit.
right.
I would say if they don't, that is like
I
probably
would
the
say
biggest
they-
mistake in the world.
They should, but they won't. That's
'Cause-
like
Because of the Romo thing.
that's
Like
like
they're not gonna
Yeah,
they're not gonna get rid of him because they love Eli so much.
Yeah, it's the
even though he
exact-
sucks.
It's the exact same thing. But I think Romo's a better quarterback. So it
Well,
doesn't,
duh.
And it's a different situation, but
like that's the thing though.
I think
Teams-
I think the Giants should probably move on because
Yeah, teams will keep their bad quarterbacks, and other teams will trade their really good quarterbacks. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Here's my prediction. I think Manning retires at the end of next season, not this season. I think he wants to try one more year
He's
after
gonna-
this year.
he's gonna do the
and he's
Peyton
going to
thing.
retire
You know what?
after next year.
I
gonna
could
do the
see
Peyton
him
Manning
going like
thing.
6 more years, honestly.
And then still suck.
I don't see it.
I could see him going to a different team, but I could see him going like
He's
6 more
he's
years.
gonna go to
He's gonna
Denver
pull
and
his-
be Peyton Manning.
Yeah, he's gonna pull his brother.
No, I think
Win
I
his
think
third Super Bowl to go on top.
I think
of
Peyton Manning retired at the exact perfect time. Just
Well,
like-
I'm gonna
Obviously,
be
yeah.
pissed if Eli gets in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I think because
He
of
probably
two fourth
will,
quarter
but-
drives, he's gonna get in
He
there.
probably will, but I'm gonna be pissed.
Because of two fourth quarter drives, he's gonna get in there.
yeah.
So
Which
next,
shouldn't even be a thing.
yeah. Next, ludicrous or legit. Aaron, Denver will start to fall because of their offense.
I think that's ludicrous. They'll be fine.
Joe?
Yeah, I'd say ludicrous too.
They have receivers. They have a good running back.
Yeah, I think
That'll be good.
you know they get Simeon back. They'll still start winning games again.
I think they'll take a little step back, but I could still see them making the playoffs, just
card.
because of their defense. And one loss is one loss. I don't know if they'll win the division or not, but I could see them beating the Bengals to get into the playoffs or somebody like that.
Yeah, I think the
for the
Bengals
wild
might be going downhill.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna win next week either.
Yeah, the Bengals haven't looked very good either.
They're playing the Patriots.
Yeah. So next one, ludicrous or legit?
Yikes.
The Eagles will miss the playoffs. Jonah.
I say that is legit because I think they're gonna start, declining because they're the Eagles and they do it almost every
I
year.
say it's legit because I'm a Cowboys fan and I hate the Eagles. So,
See, my opinion isn't biased. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't like the Eagles either, but
I think it's legit because I predicted the Eagles to go like 2-14. I thought they were going to be one of the worst, if not the worst teams in the league. Obviously, that hasn't been the case.
I
so far. I think they finish around 8-8, 9-7, and miss the playoffs. Cowboys win the division still.
I just don't, buy into the whole Wentz thing. Like, I think he's going to start making rookie mistakes and
Well, he did against the Lions. So
He's gonna
I mean,
fall.
if you do it against the Lions, who
yeah.
you can't, you're going to probably do it against the Vikings in a couple weeks, and you could do it against Josh Norman here this week. So
I think after that Steelers game, it's going to be downhill. Like after they won by like 30 points.
So the Panthers will not finish the season above 500. Ludicrous or legit, Aaron?
I think they'll be 8-8.
I think that's very
8-8?
legit. I think they'll finish like at least 2 or 3 below.
2 or 3? Wow.
I don't think they don't have it anymore. They got extremely lucky last year, winning all those
Alright.
close games.
All right. I will say they will finish probably at 8-8, maybe 9-7 at the most. I don't see them finishing above 9-7 right now. So yeah, and I think they'll end up missing the playoffs. I think you need to be 10-6 in the NFC to make the wild card. So, and the final ludicrous or legit. The Vikings and Cowboys will be in the NFC Championship game. Jonah.
The way it's looking now, I'd say that's legit. Obviously, you have to go week by week, and if the Cowboys keep winning games with Dak, and the Vikings keep winning games with their defense, I think it's very possible.
Aaron?
It's a little bit too early to even answer that question.
Yeah.
As of right now,
I
could
hope
see
the
it.
Cowboys make it that far.
Yeah.
But
As of right now, I can see it.
I don't know.
But I don't know.
It'll ask me a few weeks from now, and then
Yeah. I'll have your answer later.
I think it's a little too soon to tell too. But if the playoffs started today,
Yeah.
I would say yeah, I could
They
definitely
would be
see
there.
those two teams being there.
Oh, that'd be a crazy matchup though.
It'd be interesting. We'll obviously see these two teams play later in the year, which will be very interesting.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I could definitely see it, possibility of it, at least at this moment. My opinion could change after this week, and it could change after 3 weeks from now too. So who knows? So we'll take another quick break, and when we return, we'll talk a little college football right after this.
Heading to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Baltimore, New York, London, or anywhere in the world and need a rent-a-car? Well, check out CarRental8.com, where you'll find the same car for less money. CarRental8.com sells all the brands like Dollar, Thrifty, Budget, Avis, Hertz, Alamo, Europcar, and so much more at affordable rates. We'll beat any price by a minimum of 30%. So check us out online at CarRental8.com or call us at 1-813-343-8138. That's 1-813-343-8138.
Use the promo JACKSHOW5, that's JACSHOW5, to get 5% off your next car rental. Use all capital letters when you type in the promo code. Now back to the show.
And welcome back. And quickly talk a little bit of college football recap. Oklahoma beating Texas in a close one, 45-40, in the Red River rivalry game. Obviously, a lot of scoring involved in that game. Jonah, do you have any thoughts on that game at all?
Not really.
Jonah doesn't even know what teams played in it.
Yeah, I don't watch college.
Aaron, what do you think?
I thought it kind of looked like the Giants Saints last year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That game
about
was crazy.
The only opinion I have on it.
Yeah, I think we were all thinking Oklahoma would win. I thought it maybe would be a little bit further away, but, those two teams always play each other pretty close, obviously, since it's a rivalry
I feel
game.
bad for anybody who has to coach at Texas right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not really
been
good.
for a while.
No. So that game was interesting from the scoring perspective, but it's not going to have any BCS implications, obviously, but interesting score. Alabama, number 1 Alabama beating number 16 Arkansas, winning by 19, 49-30. Aaron thought it would be closer than what I thought it would be.
It was close there for a little bit.
For a little bit, it was close, but Alabama again pulling out in the end. Anything sticking out to you in that game, or just more domination from Alabama?
Just more Alabama.
Roll Tide. Are we becoming Crimson Tide fans now?
Hell yeah.
Totally. No other team.
They're better than Iowa.
No, I was going to beat them in the college football playoffs.
I'd say Iowa is becoming the Panthers of this
I
year.
almost played them last year.
Not quite that bad yet.
I know.
I was at least
Close.
won 4 games.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's not what the Panthers can say.
Yeah, but I'd take Cam Newton over stupid CJ Beathard.
Well, yeah, that's probably true.
Cam Newton should play for Iowa.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say Alabama, just more domination. Arkansas has had some good games, but they're kind of inconsistent, I think.
Like the Lions?
Like a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams that are inconsistent that'll finish around 500 this year, I think, in the
Cardinals.
NFL.
Cardinals
If you're
will.
800, you're like
Yeah,
doing pretty good.
good. Like 13-3 or 14-2. So then the last game we'll quickly talk about, number 8 Texas A&M beating number 9 Tennessee in 2 overtimes, 45-38 the final.
Jeez.
I don't know if you got to check this game out at all, Aaron, but what do you think about that one?
I watched most of it. Tennessee's magic just ran out.
No.
Which was unfortunate because I picked them and I was rooting for them, but
I think I might have picked them. I don't know if I was.
no, you picked A&M.
Oh, did I pick A&M?
You're a big Aggies fan.
I think I think that their quarterback play was a little bit better, and I think that's why I picked
thought
them.
Tennessee ran the ball very well, but
Yeah.
turned it over and
Both teams, I think, had 2 turnovers, I think.
no, I think Tennessee had like 5 fumbles.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Hmm.
I think so.
You need to check your resources.
I don't know how many they lost, but I remember I was watching the game and it was like they would fumble like every other play, it seemed.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
No, but they had like 5, I think. They may have only lost 2, but
Dobbs threw 2 interceptions. Oh, my. Oh, yeah. It was only 2 interceptions. Let's see. 2 fumbles by Kamara. 1 fumble by John Kelly and 2 by Dobbs. So, I don't.
yeah, 6.
Jeez,
I
man.
was wrong.
And 2 more by Kamara.
He had 4
I don't know if those are repeats or not, but it's
consecutively.
Yeah, they
is-
turned it out. I think Tennessee lost this game more than A&M won it.
Let's see the actual.
Tennessee just turned it over too many times.
Yeah.
As I was watching, I was just like, "Come on, man, Jesus!"
Turnover.
So,
after turnover after turnover.
Total turnovers, it was 6 by
Yeah,
Tennessee.
6-2.
They lost 5 fumbles.
Yeah, see, I was right.
Oh wait, that doesn't make sense. If there was 6 turnovers, but they had 2 interceptions, but only lost 5 fumbles. So that'd be 7 turnovers.
Maybe some of them.
Maybe
Maybe
that
one of
was-
them went out of bounds.
Oh, that's fumbles lost. All right. Interceptions was 2. So they lost 6 fumbles and threw 2 interceptions.
It was 6 fumbles.
Yeah, or no, 5 fumbles and 2 interceptions. They
Well,
fumbled it 6 times
First
total.
of all,
and
how
lost
are you going to
5.
fumble 6 times? Secondly, how are you going to lose 5 of those?
Yeah,
You should at
exactly.
least win half of those back.
Yep. And still, Tennessee had 32.
And they still almost won.
Still had 5 more minutes of possession than what TA.
So I think
Texas
they
A&M
really
did.
just killed themselves.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
So upsets from the weekend too. Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, we were
Twice in a row.
we were
2
all-
days in a row.
We were all over them.
Yeah, 2 days in a row. Houston comes up with bad games. The Cougars and the Texans. 46-40. One was an upset. One wasn't though. 46-40.
That was a big upset. Nobody saw that one coming.
No.
Sure, people lost a lot of money on that game.
Yeah, Houston. That was terrible. I thought. I mean, that you can't lose to a team like that. That's unranked.
Navy's never been a bad team, though.
No, but they've very rarely been ranked.
But
though.
if you're talking about being in the playoff, you have to beat teams like that.
It's like Iowa. The same thing with North Dakota State. That's a team you got to
I
beat.
think they're going to end up ruining Iowa's whole season.
Basically.
Ever since that game, Iowa has not played well.
Nope.
So
And then the other upset of the weekend, Stanford upset again for the second straight week in a
it's
row
not
by
even
the
an
same
upset with
state.
Stanford. They're overrated. They're not that great.
But they lost to an unranked team, Washington State.
They lost a lot of players from last year. They have McCaffrey, but that's it. They don't really have anybody else.
So they lost, but they lost big though, 42-16. That's pretty bad.
That is pretty bad. But when they get beat now, I don't look at it. Like, if it was last year, it'd be an upset. But now I'm just like, well, they're not that good. So
So you were obviously more surprised by the Houston upset.
yeah.
All right.
Not see that one. coming.
Yeah, I would say that surprised me the most too. Nobody
Next
nobody
segment.
saw that coming. So quickly, ludicrous or legit for college? Bama will remain number 1 all season. Ludicrous or legit?
Legit.
Okay, I will agree with that. Texas A&M and Washington are both legit contenders. Ludicrous or legit?
I think Washington more so than Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M got lucky last week with all those Tennessee turnovers. Yeah, I haven't seen enough from them, but Washington has dominated, and they look really good. So, I'd pick them over A&M.
I think both teams are pretty legit contenders. I don't think both teams will get to the playoff, and I don't even know if either one of them will get to the playoff. But
I think Washington will.
I'd say Washington will probably have a better shot of getting there.
They're in the Pac-12, yeah. A&M would have to win the SEC.
Yeah, and that's not happening.
Yeah, probably.
Stanford will miss a BCS bowl. Ludicrous or legit?
What's their record?
They've got 2 losses and how many other wins?
Yeah, I don't think they'll make one unless they.
They're 3-2, or yeah.
Unless they start playing a lot better, they're not gonna make one.
Yeah, I don't think they will. And the last ludicrous or legit, Iowa won't win more than 7 games this year.
The way it looks, that's legit. Unfortunately,
I think
we'll see how they look this week.
Yeah.
Right now,
a lot's gonna tell if they can dominate Purdue.
Right
team who's
now,
terrible.
they would be lucky to get 7.
Yeah. I think they will turn it around a little bit though, and probably get around 8.
Yeah, I think
9 is probably their max. I would say.
I think 8. Maybe an upset of Wisconsin or Michigan.
Yep. I don't see them beating both of those teams
No,
though.
probably not.
So.
Hopefully it's Michigan, because that'd be a bigger win.
All right, we'll take a quick break and then we'll do a prediction of the college football. 4 games we got to pick from. We'll be right back.
Hey listeners, don't forget to find You Don't Know Jack Show on Facebook at facebook.com/You Don't Know Jack Show. Twitter at twitter.com/Don't Know Jack Show. And Instagram at instagram.com/You Don't Know Jack Show. You can also follow Carson on Twitter at Radio Ruben. Now back to the show.
And welcome back. Got Bama at Tennessee. Number 1 Bama at number 9 Tennessee. Aaron, do you think Tennessee has even a shot in this game?
I'm going to pick Tennessee in the upset.
Really?
Just for fun.
Just for fun.
Yeah, Bama will
Funsies.
probably win, but just want to throw out an upset pick. I think if anybody has a chance of beating Bama, it's probably them. Honestly.
Yep.
Really. I mean, Ole Miss had a shot, but I don't think they'll play him again this year. So.
Yep. Bama is favored by 12 in the game, but what do you think? Tennessee or Alabama?
Bama.
All right. So, Ohio State or Wisconsin? Ohio State's favored by 10. It's at Wisconsin.
Ohio State.
All right. And the last, we got 2 more. Ole Miss at Arkansas. Number 12, Ole Miss. Number 22, Arkansas. Ole Miss is favored by 2.5 or 7.5.
Ole Miss.
And I'm going to take Bama. I'm going to take
Nobody wants to have fun with an upset pick.
OSU, and I'm going to take Arkansas to upset Ole Miss.
Oh, he picks the worst upset of them all.
Jonah, what do you think? Wisconsin, Ohio State.
Wisconsin.
Ooh, Jonah with the upset pick. Ole Miss at Arkansas,
And then Ole Miss.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
We
know
all
that
picked
it's
the
an
old-
upset pick.
and he'll probably get it right. And Iowa at Purdue. Iowa's favored by 11. All three.
Purdue.
All three of Purdue's wins have been teams at 500 or below against Eastern Kentucky, Nevada, and Illinois.
Yeah, I will probably win. Unless Purdue gets Drew Brees back.
Yeah.
That's definitely happening tomorrow.
Woo!
Jonah, who you got?
Iowa.
All right.
Hopefully Iowa can win that. If they don't win that, then
It's like losing to
And
the
that's
Lions.
not good. All right, we'll take one more quick break, and we'll finish the show with NFL predictions right after this. And welcome back to the You Don't Know Jack Show with Jonah, Aaron, and Carson. We're going to do our team's game of the week, and Vikings are on a bye along with the Buccaneers. Dallas at Green Bay. Green Bay favored by 4.5. Jonah, who you got?
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
All the way.
I'm going to take the Cowboys as well. And now we're doing something different here on the show. We're calling it Pick 6, or sometimes we'll add an extra game. So we'll do Pick 6 plus 1 or 6 picks plus 2. Pick 6 plus 2, if I can get it right. But we're doing can't get it right. Pick 6 plus 2 this week.
Good Lord.
Thursday Night Football tonight. Denver at San Diego. No Gary Kubiak. He's got migraines, and
I'm
Denver's
going to pick my
favored by
upset
3.
here, guys.
The Chargers are going to do it?
Broncos.
Yeah, Chargers will finally close one out.
Broncos.
Broncos.
This will be the first time I pick the Chargers, I think. So, hopefully. Maybe it's because I haven't been picking them. Maybe I have to give them some of my, my good luck charm.
Yeah. I'm going with the Broncos as well. I just don't think the Chargers can ever
Broncos
close.
will probably win. I just like to have fun with it.
San Francisco at the Bills. 7.5 favorites are the Bills. Kaepernick is starting.
Give me the Bills. Kaepernick's going to look like crud.
Upset.
I'm
What?
going with
Who
San
over who?
Francisco.
San Fran.
Bills are
Yeah,
favored.
You guys have fun with that.
Um,
Bills.
I think
Next
Kaepernick is
one.
going to have a big coming out party. I think Chip Kelly made a big mistake in not starting him to begin the season.
All right.
LA at Detroit. I think it's an interesting game because the Rams have been decent and the Lions
Rams.
beat the Eagles. Who you
I'm going
got?
to go with the Rams because the
Rams?
Lions do good one week and then the next week they suck. So
Yeah,
they
they're
got to
really
continue the
inconsistent.
trend.
Yep, I'm going to go with the Rams as well. I think
It'll be close.
I
but-
think it'll be close as well, but I think that defense gets to Stafford. Cincy at New England. I think we're all going to take the Patriots, are we not?
Yep.
Boo. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, do it. Frickin' A. I should pick against them since they picked against Bama, but
And Sunday Night Football, Indianapolis at Houston. I'm taking the Colts. Who you guys got?
I'm going to take the Colts. The Texans just haven't
Colts.
looked good in the past few weeks.
And I think the Colts are still making the playoffs. I think they're winning the division.
Big win for them last week.
Huge, and a huge loss for them with the Texans. New York at Arizona, the Jets. Oof. Who you got?
I'll
It's going to
say.
be the toilet bowl. Like,
I'd say Cardinals.
this is one of the games you look at the beginning of the year and you're like, oh my. And now
Yeah, but now you're like, oh, these teams
now
suck.
you're like, okay.
These teams
Cardinals are
bad.
favored by 7.5.
I'm going to take the Cardinals. They
Yeah,
get
I'm going
Carson
Cardinals.
Palmer back. The Jets defense.
It's in Arizona.
I think the Jets defense has looked worse than the Saints defense, honestly. Like, it's that bad. It really is.
It's not been good, that is for sure. And then the last two, Philadelphia at Washington. Philly's favored by 2.5.
Washington.
And
'Cause I want
I am
them to win.
going to say
It'll be close.
Redskins as well. I think Wentz struggles for another week in a row here. And then the final game could be one of the better games of the week. Atlanta at Seattle. Seattle's favored by 6.5. I'm
Falcons.
taking the Seahawks.
I'm going to take
Falcons.
the Falcons until they prove to me that they're not good.
Yeah.
I'm making them prove it to me one
I
more
gotta go.
week. So, all right, this has been the You Don't Know Jack Show with Jonah, Aaron, and Carson. Enjoy this weekend's games, college and NFL. We'll see you next week for our first 2 episodes with basketball and then football after that. Have a good week, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the You Don't Know Jack Show with Jonah, Aaron, and Carson. If you want to read articles, get more information, or have questions about the show, go to our website, youdon'tknowjackshow.com. You can subscribe and listen to the show on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio.
I'm here so I won't get fined.